Culture might sound like the soft side of business, but what if you could actually measure it? Well, today we will dig into how connection between people, performance, and purpose can make a difference in any organization, a difference you can measure and then act on. Our guest today will explore how metrics and mindset combine to create a culture where people actually want to perform and where leaders can prove that culture really does drive results. So at this time, I'm pleased to welcome two industry professionals that you might have heard about, Megan Russo with Brady Plus and Sarita Saron with CCMS. How are you both today?
Doing great.
Yeah. Yes, so excited to be here. So congratulations, by the way, Megan. So well deserved. I know what is the hard
Same,
work behind.
same to you.
What they're referring to is that they're both in the top three choices of the Rising Star in honor of Jimmy Core Award with ISSA. And I believe I'm going to see you both at ISSA show. Congratulations on that honor. You both deserve it. Let's start with a quick introduction, a little snapshot of your professional journey. Let's start with you, Megan. Just tell us about yourself and how you got to where you are today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Yes, I'm Megan Russo. I'm Director of Sales Operations for the Southeast at Brady Plus. But really, my journey started in this industry right out of college, Florida State University. Actually, Jim Core recruited me out of the sales program there to join their sales organization as a field rep in North Florida. I was a field rep for 9 years in that role, and I built a lot of relationships and really learned the business from the ground up in that role. And then I was promoted to a regional sales manager where I led a team of 20 sales reps across most of the state of Florida. And it was a really dynamic, high impact role that taught me the power of leadership, strategy, and team development. From there, I transitioned into a strategic account executive position where I managed large GPOs and co-ops. Some of you may know the likes of NSA and BSCAI. And that experience gave me just a really deeper understanding of national partnerships and complex account management. And now I'm here over with the Brady Plus family as the Director of Sales Operations for the Southeast. I've been here 6 months, and I'm excited to bring my experience, energy, and just passion for performance to this chapter.
Sarita, we'd love to hear your story as well. Share with us your journey.
All right, so thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for listening, small businesses. I'm Sarita Ceron. I'm Quality Control and Compliance Manager of CCMS. I do have certification as environmental engineer and quality management services systems specialist. I've been working in CCMS over 3 years now, doing and performing and standardizing couples procedures and processes, helping them out to get certification and recertification in ISO 9001. And we were so proud the last year to get the certification for the SIMS for ISSA and SBSCIA as a green building and GBAC with honors. So I'm so proud to get this certification with this company. I was involved in services industry before, but this with this new industry, it's has been so challenging and be so meaningful for me, learning and growing professional and personally.
Thank you for the details. I deem you both as experts when it comes to today's topic because you both seem to enjoy what you do. You probably work in a great culture at your businesses, and that's what we want to talk about today because it's not something that just happens. Would you agree with that? Something you have to build. So let's talk about culture you can measure. And let's start with the big picture here. When you think about measurable culture, what does that mean in practice to you? And Sarita, let's start with you.
All right, Jeff. To me, in cultural and cultural is a share of values, beliefs, and customs that everybody share. Inside an organization, that is exactly what happened when everything that we learn, everything that we share, and we passed over to another. it's exactly what happens in the corporate, you know. Culture is built through daily actions, through habits, through share moments, through communication ways. So when those practices align with shared corporate values, with the mission and vision, when the value proposition is shared with the right people, when the empowered people, um, it becomes something more that you can actually see. It's something that you can notice because you can notice the engagement of the people, you can notice quality results, you can notice in collaboration, and even you can notice when the people care for each other and for the spaces, for the environment. So I think the culture is something that you can, of course, measure quality and quantitative, but behind that, you can notice with actions, daily actions.
Thank you, Sarita. Nicely said. And Megan, what do you have to add to that? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sarita hits it right on the head, right? It's culture is something you can feel. It's palpable. To me, measurable culture is about truly being in touch with the people, right? A company actively soliciting feedback, but more importantly, taking action to improve. A strong culture is built on the foundation of excellence and commitment to delivering top tier service. And that's to our external partners, but as well to the internal teams as well. So just kind of piggybacks exactly off of what Sarita said.
And Megan, let's stick with you on this. Get more thoughts from you. You've led large sales teams. You mentioned in your opening comments the work you've done over the years with a focus on recognition and performance systems. How do you track morale and motivation? So we fit today's theme in with this, measuring culture, but how do you track that without turning it into micromanagement? No one likes
Yeah.
micromanagement.
No, not at all. And I think that the best way to track it is through genuine engagement, right? It's having those one-on-one relationships that allow for honest conversations, even when things aren't perfect. But it helps when everyone is aligned on that goal to be the best that we can be. Those conversations become more of an opportunity for growth and not just micromanagement. And I think in a general sense, you can sense the energy of a company, of an org, of a team, just in general, right? It's before the meetings start, it's in the tones of the conversation, and it's in the enthusiasm or lack thereof, like when you have these discussions and these meetings. So I think that that's the easiest and best way that you can just tell. It's just having that engagement, that one-on-one engagement, and that you're just really paying attention.
I agree with that 100%. Sarita, let's go to you. Now, you've implemented bilingual communication and environmental programs that improve both compliance and engagement. What's one small system that made a big cultural impact for you and your company?
The small system is when we understand and we adopt that diversity has can be translated in the practices. You know, when action speaks, no matter the language, no matter your origin, no matter your age, no matter your beliefs, everybody when has the space to participate, when at least the communication it's open wide to and all messages, even visual, written down, any detailed concept and training, it reach out that everybody's understanding. It allows that everybody be feel connected, feel part of, and then with to be more specific with the bilingual feedback and recognition logs, trainings, communications, it helps that they understand why they matters and why they are important for us. So everybody's feeling part of the system.
Thank you, Sarita. Megan, back to you as we dig deeper into this from a performance operations angle. How do you how do you tie culture and recognition to measurable business outcomes like retention, sales growth, or quality scores? And I imagine running sales teams, this is important to you.
Absolutely right. And I think it starts with just celebrating the wins that reflect your culture and drive results, right? So, yes, it's very important to celebrate milestones and celebrate individuals, especially sales individuals that go on above and beyond, but it can't stop there, right? Like everyone plays a certain role in having a success, in building results or driving results. And so you've got to also celebrate the cross-functional success in your organization. So for us, right, our drivers matter, right? They directly impact sales and they directly impact quality scores. So when you build a culture that celebrates the successes of everyone internally, you can create a success and a system where recognition fuels performance. And I think that there's a way to track who you're recognizing throughout that journey.
But Sarita, I want to talk about something interesting that I noticed in the emerging leaders information. You have something called the phrase of the
At
week.
the beginning, when I started this company, I start with a small way first to know my parent partners and also a small way to bring and develop soft skills and human connections in our daily routine. Every week we meet because everybody knows the meetings are really important. And one team member shares a short phrase, something that inspired them, something that resonate with them. It explains why it matters in their life or in their job. It's completely open and bilingual in person or remotely. So we get to know people behind their roles because it's important that those conversations often reveal how how they perceive their work environment, help us polish small, aspects in the daily work space and communication and teamwork. It's amazing how something so simple create a safe space and empathy, reflection, and belonging for everybody's in open behind their desks.
I've heard many times in recent years how simple is the best solution for a lot of things. So, yeah, don't overcomplicate it. I have two more questions for you both. So you both can answer. I'm going to start with you, Megan, on this one. And then Sarita will do the last question. We'll start with you on that. So it's fair. Megan, if you could add just one new culture KPI to every organization's dashboard, what would that KPI be?
Okay, so my KPI is actually referencing the last question, and it's recognition velocity. So, at what rate do employees recognized across the teams and levels? And the why behind that is recognition is a leading indicator of engagement, morale, and retention. So when we're recognizing our employees timely and specifically and cross functionally, it reinforces the behavior to drive value and performance. And so just being able to track how quickly and how often your employees are being recognized tells you a lot about the truth of where your culture's at.
I like that. Very nice. And Sarita, what do you have to say about that?
To me, that actually has been working for us is get a participation index, Participation shows how people gets involved, empowers the people because it's not they're only present and here for work because I mean they show us that they actively engage, sharing ideas, joining, with recognizing some jobs, some performance, some tasks, even giving us some suggestions and a recommendation. When someone, because I truly believe that when someone speaks, it's because they trust that their voice will be heard and their inputs matter because their point of view, their location and their position, it doesn't matter how high or how different is behind us. It's and regardless actually of the background, language, beliefs, the sense of belonging is true indicator of healthy culture, and it's healthy for our relationships too. So it's completely measurable, a participation index. So CCMS has been a great result in our dashboard with everybody's in any level. So you will surprise what you can get from those forms.
Thank you for that, Sarita. And as promised, you get to start on this last question. So, what's your best piece of advice for leaders who want to improve culture today's topic, measure it, but they don't know where to start. What would you tell them, Sarita?
For me, and for the company has been working, and for what I've seen, I guess we can start by listening. Listening is a simple but is a foundation of a cultural growth. Measure that you can observe is communication, recognition, participation, as I just mentioned. You can build from there because everybody has a really valued piece of a word or input that will help you get to your vision and mission. And everybody's, if it's the right person, if it's empowered, you can get your most desired goals, because what happens is becomes part of the team and start and sharing your vision.
Megan, you get the last word. What would you say would be some advice for those that want to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. And Sarita's spot on. Listen, right? So, what I would say is conduct a voice of the associate survey. It's got to be anonymous, right? Because people always feel like they don't want to say their truth sometimes. But they're super powerful tools. If 25% of your team doesn't feel valued, or 76% of your team would recommend your company to a friend, that's just not data, that's direction, right? So it tells you where to focus, what's working, and then what needs attention. So you start with listening and using those surveys as a baseline so where you know which direction to go. And that's the best place that I would recommend starting.
People don't want to speak their truth. Yeah, but they do want people to understand how they feel.